"What are your plans for the next few days?" he asks, his voice low. "I'm working today from midday. What time is it?" I panic suddenly. "It's just after 10. You've plenty of time. What about tomorrow?" He has his elbows on the table and his chin is resting on his long, steepled fingers. "Kate and I are going to start packing. We're moving to Seattle next weekend, and I'm working at Clayton's all this week." "You have a place in Seattle already?" "Yes." "Where?" "I can't remember the address. It's in the Pike Market District." "Not far from me." He smiles. "So, what are you going to do for work in Seattle?" Where is he going with all these questions? The Christian Grey Inquisition is almost as irritating as the Catherine Kavanaugh Inquisition. "I've applied for some internships. I'm waiting to hear." "Have you applied to my company, as I suggested?" I flush. Of course not. No. "And what's wrong with my company?" "Your company or your company?" I smirk. "Are you smirking at me, Miss Steele?" He tilts his head to one side, and I think he looks amused, but it's hard to tell. I flush and glance down at my unfinished breakfast. I can't look him in the eye when he uses that tone of voice. "I'd like to bite that lip," he whispers darkly. I gasp, completely unaware that I am chewing my bottom lip and my mouth pops open. That has to be the sexiest thing anybody has ever said to me. My heartbeat spikes, and I think I'm panting. Geez, I'm a quivering mess, and he hasn't even touched me. I squirm in my seat and meet his dark glare. "Why don't you?" I challenge quietly. "Because I'm not going to touch you, Anastasia. Not until I have your written consent to do so." His lips hint at a smile. What? What does that mean? Exactly what I say. He sighs and shakes his head at me, amused but exasperated too. "I need to show you, Anastasia. What time do you finish work this evening?" "About 8. "Well, we could go to Seattle this evening or next Saturday for dinner at my place, and I'll acquaint you with the facts then. The choice is yours." "Why can't you tell me now?" "Because I'm enjoying my breakfast and your company. Once you're enlightened, you probably won't want to see me again." What does that mean? Does he white slave small children to some godforsaken part of the planet? Is he part of some underworld crime syndicate? It would explain why he's so rich. Is he deeply religious? Is he impotent? Surely not. He could prove that to me right now. I flush scarlet thinking about the possibilities. This is getting me nowhere. I'd like to solve the riddle that is Christian Grey sooner rather than later. If it means that whatever secret he has is so gross that I don't want to know him anymore, then, quite frankly, it will be a relief. "Don't lie to yourself," my subconscious yells at me. "It'll have to be pretty damn bad to have you running for the hills."
All you got is this moment. 21st century is yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind.
Tonight. He raises an eyebrow. "Like Eve, you are so quick to eat from the tree of knowledge." He smirks. "Are you smirking at me, Mr. Grey?" I ask sweetly. Pompous ass. He narrows his eyes at me and picks up his BlackBerry. He presses one number. Taylor, I'm going to need Charlie Tango. Charlie Tango? Who's he? From Portland at, say, 20:30? No. Stand by at Escala. All night. All night? Yes. On call tomorrow morning. I'll pilot from Portland to Seattle. Pilot? Standby pilot from 22:30. He puts the phone down. No please or thank you. Do people always do what you tell them? Usually, if they want to keep their jobs, he says, deadpan. And if they don't work for you? Oh, I can be very persuasive, Anastasia. You should finish your breakfast, and then I'll drop you off at home. I'll pick you up at Clayton's at 8 when you finish. We'll fly up to Seattle. I blink at him rapidly. Fly? Yes, I have a helicopter. I gape at him. I have my second date with Christian oh-so-mysterious Gray. From coffee to helicopter rides. Wow. We'll go by helicopter to Seattle? Yes. Why? He grins wickedly. Because I can. Finish your breakfast. How can I eat now? I'm going to Seattle by helicopter with Christian Gray, and he wants to bite my lip. I squirm at the thought. Eat, he says more sharply. Anastasia, I have an issue with wasted food. Eat. I can't eat all this. I gape at what's left on the table. Eat what's on your plate. If you'd eaten properly yesterday, you wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be declaring my hand so soon. His mouth sets in a grim line. He looks angry. I frown and return to my now cold food. I'm too excited to eat, Christian. Don't you understand? My subconscious explains. But I'm too much of a coward to voice these thoughts aloud, especially when he looks so sullen. Like a small boy. I find the thought amusing. What's so funny? He asks. I shake my head, not daring tell him, and keep my eyes on my food. Swallowing my last piece of pancake, I peek up at him. He's eyeing me speculatively. Good girl, he says. I'll take you home when you've dried your hair. I don't want you getting ill. There's some kind of unspoken promise in his words. What does he mean?
I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, girl, that makes me sweat. So how do you feel? I'm lonely. What do you think? Can't think it all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. I'm lonely.
I leave the table wondering for a moment if I should ask permission, but dismissing the idea. Sounds like a dangerous precedent to set. I head back to his bedroom. A thought stops me. Where did you sleep last night? I turn to gaze at him still sitting in the dining room chair. I can't see any blankets or sheets out here. Perhaps he's had them tidied away. In my bed, he says simply, his gaze impassive again. Oh, yes. It was quite a novelty for me, too. He smiles. Not having sex. There. I said the word. I blush, of course. No. He shakes his head and frowns as if recalling something uncomfortable. Sleeping with someone. He picks up his newspaper and continues to read. What in heaven's name does that mean? He's never slept with anyone? He's a virgin? Somehow, I doubt that. I stand staring at him in disbelief. He is the most mystifying person I've ever met. And it dawns on me that I have slept with Christian Grey, and I kick myself. What would I have given to be conscious to watch him sleep, see him vulnerable? Somehow, I find that hard to imagine. Well, allegedly, all will be revealed tonight.
I've got to let you know